dance between fate and destiny intensify the more that we go through our spiritual awakening. So today I'm going to be explaining exactly what fate is and exactly what destiny is so that we can align with our destiny. In my video, Fate and Free Will Explained, which won 50 awards, I talk about how fate belongs to the domain of karma and how free will belongs to the domain of dharma. So where does destiny enter the picture then? In its most basic and simplest form, destiny is the highest outcome and the most optimal timeline that we can line up with and therefore experience within a lifetime. And fate are all of the predetermined conditions that we enter into a lifetime with that keep us on track with our lessons, with our trials and tribulations, as well as our innate gifts and talents. So all of the things that we enter into a lifetime with are the things that fate rule over. But fate is something that isn't opposed to our destiny. Fate keeps us on track to our destiny in a way where if we overcome what we are meant to overcome, if we learn what we are meant to learn, and if we heal what we are meant to heal within our karmic pool, within our fate, we enter into the open space of Dharma. And when we're in the open space of Dharma, now we start accessing the timelines of our destiny. So fate contains within it both beneficial and detrimental life experiences that we will inevitably encounter in one form or another, as well as what we come into this life with. But fate is even one step further up than being in what is considered in mysticism the mechanical sphere of reality. And in the mechanical sphere of reality, this is where our programming interferes to the extent that we are even disconnected from our fate. And our fate isn't even linked to our destiny. So one being can actually become so disconnected from their fate if they are overly conditioned and overly programmed that they lose their innate essence, their innate guidance through the trials and tribulations that are meant to be learned, lived, and develop them enough in order for those timelines toward their destiny to open up in their field. Because before they open up within their field, they're just a possibility. They're not a probability, and they're not a guarantee. And that's what's the most important thing to know about destiny. It is no guarantee. As a matter of fact, as harsh as this may sound, as far as mysticism is concerned, not everyone even has a destiny coming into this life. Destiny is no guarantee because it comes from the realm of Dharma. It opens up through our own free will. It starts formulating and manifesting as we're drawing forth from the universe those raw materials of creative energy in order to pop out of the inevitable forces that guard our fate. So because of that, destiny is something that forms and develops as we form and develop. If a being has no interest in consciousness or awakening, they are not linked with any guarantee of a destiny. Destiny isn't even a part of the field of their probabilities of what they will experience. So even though destiny is the highest possible outcome that we can line up with and experience within this lifetime, it is not predetermined. It is not written. It is one that opens up and manifests in the field as we use more of our consciousness, which is our art, to evolve. So it requires our own conscious participation. It is the entirely opposite realm of the automation, of the mechanical, of the predetermined. That's why it's not written. What is written is fate. And you could still live a happy and fulfilling life even within fate and fate alone. But it's not destiny, and this is the biggest distinction between the two. Fate is inevitable, destiny is not. It is a creative collaboration that requires our free will, and it is a creative labor of love. And so destiny can be looked at as the director's cut, the best version of our movie script, where the final ending of the movie ends perfectly and all of the different themes come to full resolution and everything is at its most optimal timeline. But it's a potential movie script out of the sea of all the different ways that our life can play out, even if those different scripts carry within them just one minor event that was left out of that script, or one minor event that was added into that script. So all the different timelines can be looked at different movie scripts. They all contain within it the same story arcs or the same overarching themes. So they all contain the basic structure that is set up, and that would be our fate. Fate would be the things that are inevitably embedded into all of the different versions of that movie script. But it's the same movie script. It's just different variations of how that movie can play out. And you have a sea of them. And all of those different movie scripts within this sea are the different choices with our own free will, or automated, if we're coming from an unconscious place, that we line up with on a daily basis, monthly, yearly, all those different potentials. And as we narrow the field in and we start awakening more and we start accessing more of our free will, we start honing in the field on these new movie scripts that just entered our field that weren't there before. And these have even better versions in them. And that's because we're becoming more embodied within our awakening. And because of that, now it's reflecting into our potentials. And now those potentials become higher. Those outcomes become more fantastic. And that's the difference between the realm of destiny and fate. Even if we live a fulfilled life in fate, it is one that won't even reach at its best the potential of optimal storylines or experiences that can be reached in that destiny version of the script. And so when we're making all of these choices and we're awakening more, we're able to now open up that field to where the destiny is now created and manifested. So now we just link up with it. And with our own conscious choices, we start getting resources from the universe to help do that, to help connect us with our destiny. So fate is unavoidable, and it acts like buffers along our life path, keeping us within the vicinity and the structure of the predetermined storyline, themes, and all of our intrinsic nature, meaning all of our essence that we came into this life with. It keeps us intact so that we're not too programmed, so that we can still connect with our inner stars or our astrological guidance in order to get us, hopefully, to manifest a potential of destiny. So it acts as those gentle barriers that push us along and make sure that we experience the challenges, the hardships, the difficulties that we were fated to experience, but also to show us where our gifts, talents, and where we can use and access our free will within these predetermined structures. And every time we access more and more free will, every time we grow our consciousness, we start being able to lift those gentle buffers and barricades that are a part of our fate. And now we can start creatively participating in our own life path. This we see when we break out of karmic patterns or reoccurring themes that we came into this life with, or at least strongly experienced if we did not come into this life with. Either way, fate sets us up within a certain storyline, and then from there, we become conscious and we heal, and we are supposed to catalyze ourselves through those challenges. And if we don't answer the call of our fate, meaning we grow through and overcome those challenges that we were inevitably going to encounter, then we fall back on fate. And it just looks like everything was predetermined and that there was no way out. When in reality, it's because we did not grow through those challenges. We didn't meet them face on in some way. And so we slipped back into the mentality of, this was what I was given. That I am a victim of circumstance. What determines each person's fate and the conditions that they come into is in two parts. That is one unconscious and one conscious. The unconscious part of what determines our fate is what we would look at as the traditional karma. And that is when we are magnetized to certain experiences that we would not probably consciously choose ourselves, but yet need to be incorporated into our entire soul for its own development. So it's the next step for our soul. And then the second part would be conscious. And these are the ones that we consciously create for ourselves and set up for ourselves coming into a life so that we're able to get the most out of whatever themes or lessons or whatever we wanted to learn inside that incarnation for our evolution. The less conscious a soul unit is, the more it's magnetized to experiences, meaning that it is not consciously participating in its own fate. It's not setting up the experiences consciously that it would like to opt into. Instead, it's coming more from an unconscious realm of what it's being magnetized into through its unconsciousness. So some souls are consciously being able to create their fate more than other souls. It's on a spectrum of how conscious we participate, and then that gets carried over within our lifetimes. And what gets carried over in our lifetimes that is conscious is our essence. And that's what the heart of mysticism and esotericism is all about. It's about essence, developing the essence. Nothing is guaranteed, not even a strong soul unit. And so the essence of us, that's our own creative energy, our own intrinsic nature, is what gets developed, and then what starts being able to create and consciously choose and access its own free will. Fate is not causal. It can only compel. What this means is it doesn't cause anything to happen, even though it looks as though it does. Because fate is a pattern. It is the conditions to create the perfect storm. It is the ingredients to create a given recipe. It is not the recipe itself. It is the momentum behind a pattern that supplies us and guides us through our life path. The spiritual science that rules over fate is astrology. Fate is omnipresent. It's our companion, but it doesn't override us. It's the conditions that energetically make up our incarnation. And yet, at the same time, it can be changed in an instant. A being can line up with an entirely different fate if the momentum that is fueling their patterns changes course in a drastic way. And if they line up with an entirely different fate, their stars would reflect this new course as well. Fate are the building blocks. Destiny is what you create with the building blocks, which means fate is not fated. Per the ancient wisdom, the stars do not bind us, they incline us. I hope this has helped you manifest your director's cut. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for higher dimensional guidance through spiritual awakening. See you next time.